Go and look at the grin. Routine has always been my sanctuary. Every morning, I take the same route to work, passing by a series of old building complexes that have probably been around since the early 1900s. There's a charm to them, but lately, something sinister has disrupted my morning ritual. About a month ago, as I walked past one of these buildings, I felt an overwhelming sense of being watched. Instinctively, I glanced up, and there it was. A distorted figure with a wide, unnerving grin peered down at me from a second-floor window. Its eyes were voids of darkness, and its smile seemed to stretch impossibly wide. The next day, the figure was back, but in a different window. Every time I glanced at it, it would teleport to another window, its grin never wavering. It felt like a grotesque game of peekaboo, one I had no choice but to play. I sat there for an hour that day, watching it move from window to window. Driven by curiosity and fear, I tried something different. I pulled out my phone and aimed the camera to the windows. To my shock, the figure stayed put, visible only through the lens. It was the only way I could look at it without it moving. I started documenting these encounters, capturing its haunting presence through my phone. Weeks passed and the figure was there every day, its grin haunting my thoughts. I couldn't focus on work and my sleep was plagued by nightmares. My friends noticed my distraction, but I couldn't explain it to them. Who would believe that grinning specter was following me? One evening, exhausted from another sleepless night, I sat on my sofa, mindlessly scrolling through my phone. Out of habit, I glanced up at the window. My blood ran cold. The same grinning figure stood outside my living room window, its smile as wide and disturbing as ever. My heart pounded in my chest, and once again, as soon as I looked, it teleported away. Panic seized me. I had installed security cameras in every room in my house for peace of mind. Now I checked them frantically. In the main hall, there it was, grinning. I knew I could catch it through the cameras without it moving. I then somewhat impulsively bolted to the hall, but as soon as I laid eyes on it, the figure teleported. It was toying with me. I grabbed my cell phone and frantically inspected the cameras. It was now on my dining room table at an angle where I could see it very well. The hollow eyes and wide grin were staring into the camera. It knew what I was doing. I was frozen. Could I avoid my dining room for the rest of my life? That seemed unreasonable, and yet, it felt as if it was my only solution. What made it move? Could it feel my gaze, or was it tracking my eyeballs? Why not try a little experiment? Cautiously, I approached the dining room table with the darkest sunglasses I could find. I wanted to get close before I looked up. Once I felt I was close enough, I glanced straight into its dark, hollow eyes. I saw, or should I say it saw me, and disappeared just as quickly. Desperation took over. The figure had moved to my bedroom's bathroom. Yes, I have a camera there, and yes, I live alone. I grabbed a scarf and tied it over my eyes as a blindfold. With a pocket knife in hand, I planned to stab the figure blindly, hoping to finally put an end to this nightmare. With my heart racing, I opened the door. I swung the knife wildly, hoping to connect with something, anything. But my scarf slipped, and through the reflection of the mirror, I saw the figure. It teleported instantly. In sheer panic, I slammed the connecting door to my bedroom shut, sat on my bed, and checked the cameras again. The living room was clear. The main hall was clear. The dining room was clear. Upstairs hall, clear. Bathrooms, clear. I breathed a sigh of relief. Maybe it was gone. But then I checked the bedroom camera. To my dismay, the figure was right behind me, its grin wider than ever, its eyes dark and empty. I froze. The air grew thick, and the room seemed to close in on me. The figure didn't move, didn't teleport, just stood there, grinning. I could feel its presence like a dark shadow creeping over me. Everything went silent, and all I could do is remain still, in fear that glancing upon it again would bring it even closer. I've sat here typing this out all while the figure is behind me. My phone battery life is dying, and I know that as soon as it does, I will lose the cameras. Even worse, I will be staring into its reflection on my dark screen. Please help.